the imbalance of existential awareness in Adam and Eve. When reflecting upon the sacred texts, I noticed that the primary criterion for humanity's succession, Khilafah of God, is for a person to be fully responsive and complete as God intended. This is the measure of human perfection. Yet humankind neglected this position, leaving it vacant for Satan to usurp. He appointed himself as a false successor to God, employing the very powers that were originally entrusted to Adam. In this way, he gained dominion over humanity and the universe, though not over the original authorship or creative rights that belong solely to God. This occurred because humanity responded to the corrupt angel, allowing that angel to assume the position of false master, taking the place of the invisible guardian that rightly belongs to God. The Quran says, "Behold, we said to the angels, bow down to Adam. They bowed down, except Iblis. He was one of the jinn, and he broke the command of his Lord. Will you then take him and his progeny as guardians rather than me, though they are your enemies? How evil is the exchange for the wrongdoers." Humanity thus became a servant to Satan, who himself is but a servant, a condition known as the servant of the servant. Religions such as Judaism and Islam were established in their early stages to elevate humanity from being servants of Satan to being servants of God. However, with the coming of Jesus Christ, 2 millennia after the beginning of the Jewish dispensation, humanity was called to rise from servitude to God to the status of divine sonship, under the direct guardianship of God. From this point onward, human beings are called to attain a complete and direct relationship with God, both inwardly and outwardly, a fulfillment that Christ will bring at his second advent in the last days. The first human beings made a wrongful and unjust choice in disobeying God's command, introducing evil into the created world and depriving themselves of the state of perfection and bliss that God intended. Evil here represents the emergence of goals and visions that contradict goodness, which is living for others. Humanity thus created a world of immorality, suffering, and conflict in place of a world of altruism, goodness, love, beauty, and happiness. This misguided choice caused human history to begin from a false starting point and to proceed in the wrong direction. Every person now possesses two minds or conflicting inclinations, a state of loss, disorder, and internal strife that the scriptures describe as the first sin. The Quran conveys Satan's words, "I will mislead them and arouse in them false desires. I will command them to slit the ears of grace and to alter the fair nature created by Allah. Whoever takes Satan as a guardian instead of Allah has indeed suffered a manifest loss." This is the post-descent condition, the state of enmity in which we all live today. The Quran describes it further. He said, "Get down, both of you, all together, from the garden, in enmity toward one another." This enmity begins within the individual and extends outward, to the family, society, nation, and ultimately the world. It is, in essence, a state of spiritual death, conflict, and violence. The divine principle teaches that unless we understand the source and nature of this evil commanding self and its origin, we will never find effective and lasting solutions to the internal and external conflicts that plague humanity. Without such understanding, religion itself cannot be properly grasped, nor can true religious renewal, the kind that leads to salvation, ever occur. Our consciousness is clouded. Something has become intertwined with the pure, original nature with which God created us, an element that drives us toward spiritual error and evil. It is this commanding self or evil mind that conflicts with our original, sound nature and disturbs the soul. The key to solving humanity's problems lies in uncovering the origin of this evil commanding soul. The Quran records the words of Joseph, who confessed, "Nor do I absolve my own self, for the human soul is indeed prone to evil, unless my Lord bestows his mercy." In the Abrahamic tradition, this deceptive source is called Satan. Unification thought likewise teaches, without knowing Satan's identity, function, nature, and the nature of his sin, we remain powerless to eliminate the forces of falsehood, deception, and evil from this earth. To eradicate falsehood and evil, we must expose Satan's motives and understand the devastation he has brought upon human life. Out of envy for the blessings and high status God granted to humanity, Satan sought to tempt humankind with the tree of immortality and eternal kingdom, a malicious scheme designed to destroy and paralyze humanity's life and future. The Quran provides detailed accounts of the dialogue between God and the angels, and between God and Lucifer, before Adam was deceived. Adam and Eve died spiritually. Their inner selves became paralyzed, their awareness darkened, and their connection to God, the source of love, truth, and life, was severed. This was the fall of humankind, the spiritual death that led to humanity's expulsion from paradise and the cutting off of the channels of divine grace. Thus, the history of the world has been a history of evil and spiritual death. God planted the seed of goodness, destined to bear good fruit, but the wicked angel seized the crop before it ripened. Human history did not begin to rise from that death until the awakening of conscience and the birth of religion and culture. Before that, after the fall, humankind was insignificant, nothing worth mentioning. The Quran declares, "Has there not been over man a long period of time when he was nothing, not even recognized as a being?" Written and prepared by Abdelmoumin Ahmed.